Right now as you breathe, something is yawning 3,000 meters below the surface. The pressure down there is 300 times stronger than what's crushing you right now, enough to compress a styrofoam cup to the size of a thimble, enough to turn your body into a substance that doesn't have a name, and it's doing ordinary Tuesday things, not noticing you, not caring you exist. In 2026, we finally saw what was there. To feel that depth, you need numbers that stick. 3,000 meters. That's the height of 3 Empire State Buildings stacked in darkness. It's deep enough that any light stopped arriving 2,000 meters ago. The water above you has a weight, a real weight. 1 square centimeter of your skin at that depth carries the mass of a loaded pickup truck pressing straight down. All your skin, all at once. This is not a hostile environment. Hostility requires intention. This is indifference scaled to the geometric. The water that would liquefy your lungs is somebody else's breathing air. For decades, we assumed the abyss was mostly empty, dark, sparse, a graveyard of falling debris and the occasional ghost fish. Wrong. In 2026, a research team working in the Ural-Kamchatka Trench, a scar in the Pacific 340 kilometers long and deeper than Mount Everest is tall, discovered not one new species. Seven separate creatures never documented, living in pressures that should have been sterile. One of them had no taxonomic match, not a variation of known fish, a wholly separate branch, a neighbor we didn't know we had. The first was small, 6 centimeters, translucent enough that you could see through to the geometry of its organs, a thing built like an assumption, all spine and membrane and the minimum necessary to exist. It drifted past the submersible's viewport and did not acknowledge the camera. This is the detail that matters, not that it existed and was unsurprised by us. It moved through the water with the casualness of a thing that had never, in its entire evolutionary history, been observed. The camera was a fact, it had no framework to register, but the threshold moment came with the second discovery. A creature approximately 12 centimeters long, with a bioluminescent pattern on its dorsal surface, not a lure, not a signal, just a soft blue-green glow that served no function the researchers could identify. It had existed in the dark for long enough that it had evolved a feature for a purpose we don't yet understand. That gap between what we observe and what it means, that's the crack in the map. That's where the world is still being written. What made 2026 different wasn't the technology. Submersibles have reached these depths before. The difference was deliberate slowness. Previous expeditions filmed like tourists, grabbed the footage, scanned for the sensational, move on. This team stayed, they watched. They let creatures drift through the frame without performing. A small gelatinous thing moving through the water at a pace that suggested no urgency. An older specimen, identifiable by scarring, settling near a thermal vent. Not fighting, not hunting, existing. The domesticity of it was the revelation. This wasn't a discovery of monsters. It was a discovery of a living room we'd been told was empty. The pressure doesn't change the creature's day. Pressure is not an obstacle for it, it's architecture. It's how the creature knows itself. The bone structure around it, the organs expect it. Remove the pressure and the creature would collapse. What kills us is what holds it together. This inversion, this fundamental reversal of what environment means, should make you feel small. Not small like you're insignificant. Small like you're one species on a list that's far longer than you thought. Small like the map is still being drawn and you're only now noticing the blank spaces. In 2026, that matters because we're approaching a threshold. Within 3 years, industrial mining operations will begin harvesting the abyssal floor for rare earth metals, polymetallic nodules, copper and cobalt and nickel. The same creatures we just found will wake up to a landscape being physically scraped. We discovered them not because we were ready to understand them. We discovered them because we're running out of time to know they exist before we destroy their address. The conversation shifted. Suddenly, the question wasn't what lives down there. It was, what did we just promise to protect? The second argument, the one the visuals carry before the words arrive, is quieter. It's the calm of a being that has never required an audience. These creatures existed for millions of years before humans had cameras. They'll exist for millions more if we let them. The pressure, the darkness, the indifference of the ocean, these aren't barriers. They're a sanctuary. They're a place where evolution still has room to write. And in 2026, we finally looked long enough to see that the writing isn't finished. The map still has blank spaces, and what fills them is alive. Right now, as you finish this sentence, something is yawning at 3,000 meters, not noticing you, not needing you to witness it. Just existing in a pressure that would turn your body into something that doesn't have a name. And that ordinary, unbothered existence in the most extreme place on Earth, that's the hope the ocean has been keeping. The world is stranger than we were brave enough to believe, and it's getting harder to unsee.